Hey, it's me, Mr. J, and welcome to today's drawing challenge. Do you have a couple minutes? Because today's challenge is draw a bird with a fancy hat. So grab something to draw on and something to draw with, and let's do this. There are so many different kinds of birds. Each one is very unique. Some have mohawks, some have long necks, some really long beaks. It can be hard to know where to begin. So start with simple shapes. To draw a bird, we look for shapes like ovals, circles, and triangles. So I'm going to start with a circle for the head. All right, there's a little circle for my bird's head. And then we use like a teardrop shape for the body. And the same thing for a wing. All right, and then the beak. Definitely two triangles. All right, and I'm gonna do some long legs. There we go. And my bird's gonna have its eyes closed, so I'm gonna draw a little U for the eyes. Okay, fancy hat time. I'm gonna add the brim of the hat, the top of the hat, and then to make it fancy, a feather, right? It's a bird. So I'm gonna add a big feather for my very fancy hat. And you know what? Birds do a lot of talking, chirping, singing, so I'm gonna add some music notes. Yeah. So let's check in. Have you ever noticed that birds make all kinds of sounds? They're really good at communicating with other birds. So they also have to be good listeners. What does it look like when we're being a good listener? Is our body as calm as it can be? And what happens to our head? Do we nod along as we listen, letting the other person know that we hear what they're saying? What about our mouth? Is it closed, or do we smile? What if someone shares something funny? Well, of course we smile then. And if they share something sad, it's okay to frown too. Have you ever taken time to quietly listen to birds outside? They all have different calls, tweets, chirps to tell each other different things. They talk about safety, their needs, and their happiness. And it's important that they listen to one another so they know what to do next, or what to stay away from, or where to find good worms. Now this one time, my friend was sharing a story, but I stopped listening, and then I excitedly interrupted. I wonder how that made my friend feel. I've had to learn to stop and listen to other people when they're sharing a story, and actually listen. If I want them to care about what I have to share, I should care about what they're saying too. I used to be afraid that I would forget what I wanted to tell someone when they were talking. You know what I do now? Well, while I'm listening, I cross my fingers so that when it's my turn to talk, I think, why are my fingers crossed? Oh yeah, and then it's my turn to talk too. Conversations take a lot of practice because sometimes we talk and sometimes we listen. Like our bird, we have to know how to do both. And it's important to get feedback on how we're doing. You can use your drawing to talk with a parent or trusted adult about how you're feeling and ask them for coaching on how to be a better listener. Now, I can only imagine how fancy your bird looks in their hat. Here's mine. Well, thanks for joining me today as we drew a bird with a fancy hat. I look forward to seeing you next time for another drawing challenge.